Okay, back with another one. Shout out to Junie Gyllenhaal. Said I reacted too quick on the last Tyrod Taylor video, so I wanted to give this story a chance to get the full details out. We want to get the full contract. There's a lot of discrepancies, saying we saved $6 million, saying we saved $11 million. I saw a lot of crazy things about the Logan Ryan cut, saying what we would save, what we could save. Come to find out that we basically cut him and saved no money, because I think said roughly saved around $760,000 this year. The league minimum is $710,000. So it seems like we just cut this guy just to do it. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Ed Reed. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Logan Ryan played like Ed Reed last year, like he played Hall of Fame football, but he definitely was a better choice than Julian Love. Now, Jabril Peppers coming off an injury, big injury. Are we gonna resign him? Not sure, probably not, based off these moves, or unless he wants to come at a really approve it deal, 1 year, maybe $3 million, $4 million, if that. Maybe an incentive-laced contract. But Logan Ryan, losing him is a really big deal. Like I said, we basically saved no money, and we still need to find a person to play safety. He was playing a little nickelback for us, even though, let's be honest, these days the only time he's playing nickelback is some Beats headphones. But he can still play. I don't want to get it wrong. He did drop a lot of picks last year, or a couple times on like third down. I was looking at Logan Ryan made a play, and he didn't. But around him, for a safety to have 117 tackles, that says the defense around him is not doing their job. For the last line of defense to get 117 tackles, that's terrible. And shout out to him to be able to secure 117 tackles. That is impressive. So in that sense, it is impressive. So he can still play. Like I said, he didn't play great last year, but he's definitely good enough to stabilize his defense. We're switching to a Martindale defense that is predicated on defensive backs being on the island. They have a lot of responsibility, and I believe Logan Ryan would have been a good way to help, push that new scheme. He would have been a good help teaching players, as well as, again, being in the defense himself. So we would have leaned on Logan Ryan, maybe a little more than we should have, but we would have leaned on Logan Ryan. Now with this move, it's basically like we basically have to draft a defensive back in the first 4 picks. So we're 5'7", I think 36, and then the third round, we have to take a defensive back basically now. We don't have the horses to run this defense. Last year, the Ravens defense suffered when they got injured in the defensive back group, and their defense really suffered because that's how the defense is predicated off. Defensive backs being able to be on islands, one-on-one matchups, man coverage, press coverage. You have to be able to do that. And again, this is even with us not moving off Bradbury yet, which a lot of people believe we still are going to do. So I'm really torn about this decision. Not torn. I don't like it at all. And again, Junie, I gave it a day. I was thinking about it. It doesn't make sense. And I can't help but wonder that if we didn't pay a backup quarterback, would we be able to keep Logan Ryan on the team? Would he still be in the room? Would we not have to draft a defensive back the early one? Because we have to draft the one that can compete at day one, pretty much. Speaking of draft, David Ajobo got hurt at his pro day. Michigan defensive end, edge rusher, heralded as one of the best edge rushers in this draft. I hope say the Giants were considering him, so I definitely, hope he has a speedy recovery. Hope this is just a minor setback. Really, really sucks to see people get hurt during their pro day when they're just trying to showcase their talent, showcase their abilities are freakish. It's really tough. Hope it's just a minor setback. Also, shout out to Isaiah Robinson Jr. So Junie Gyllenhaal and Isaiah Robinson Jr. both commented on the last video, and I appreciate it. But again, Isaiah Rodgers Jr. a little more optimistic on what this team could be next year. I'm not really sure, especially with moves like this. It's a little head scratching. We're bringing in, so much new. We have so much, the coaches are new. The scheme is going to be new. it would be nice to have, some continuity and a veteran that, again, can help usher in a new defensive scheme. So it's going to be interesting. We shall see. The Giants, man, we keep re-signing the offensive lineman. It wasn't good last year. So, I guess it's depth. I understand depth. But depth is the reason why I don't like the Logan Ryan cut. Because we need depth and money. And cutting him doesn't solve either of those problems. So we're really in the same position. So I'm still screaming, Joe! Man, listen. There's a lot of hot topics in the NFL right now. The Davante Adams trade. It's crazy to see him only go for a 1 and a 2. This guy coming off back-to-back all-pro seasons. About 4 or 5 straight Pro Bowls. And he only gets traded for a 1 and 2 this season. Green Bay Packers, man. If you ask me, they made a foolish decision. Well, I believe their foolish decision was investing so much in Aaron Rodgers. I would have traded him last year personally. I don't think he's worth the trouble. I know you hear 4-time MVP, and you're like, man, how could you argue that this guy isn't one of the greatest of all time, isn't one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now? My response would be, he has 1 championship. And the last time we saw this guy play pro playoff football, he didn't even give you a touchdown. He didn't throw a touchdown, didn't run a touchdown. Packers scored 10 points versus the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. He couldn't give you 1 touchdown. And the touchdown that the team scored was Aaron Jones. That's pretty bad. Not to mention all the other, the Seahawks giving up 15 points in a couple minutes. The Cardinals games. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. What has he really done in the postseason to give this so much love? And I don't get it. Maybe because I've seen my man Eli Manning go into his crib, take his dinner, and then leave without cleaning up. Maybe because I saw that, and that's a thought that's always gonna hold in my mind. But I really don't get it. And Davante Adams wanted to play with his college quarterback. They did a lot of great things in Fresno State. I actually played Fresno State, straight against Fresno State in NCAA 13. If you have a PS3, comment below. If you want to get in the league, we can do that. Davante Adams is a player. It is a bit interesting that he was willing to leave for the same amount of money. Now, again, to say Aaron Rodgers, you're telling me that Davante Adams, a guy that, again, has continuously got better since his rookie year, a guy that went from, I can't quite remember where he was drafted. I don't think it was top 3. Could be wrong. I apologize if I made that mistake. But he's a guy that just continuously got better. Turning 30 before the season starts or during next season. And the Raiders added a guy, the continuity, man. Continuity. When you have a quarterback and receiver that have a lot of chemistry, which him and Aaron Rodgers did seem to have. It's just weird to me that, I'm sorry, jumping the thing, but it's weird to me that he was willing to just leave for the same money. It says a lot about him and Aaron Rodgers, or even the Packers in general. Maybe he doesn't believe in the direction. Maybe he doesn't believe that contract to Aaron Rodgers made sense at 38, coming off a non-touchdown performance in an NFC Championship. Maybe. It's weird because usually, like I said, money's the only factor. So when you're able to play with the guy you want to play with and get the money, there's usually no problem. So the fact that he left for the same ticket makes me believe that either 1, he doesn't believe Aaron Rodgers is the guy, or 2, he lost trust with the Packers. Maybe when they decided to re-sign all these other guys and give Aaron Rodgers all that new money without giving him some first or prioritizing him. So we'll see. We shall see. And last but not least, one thing I want to touch on is Deshaun Watson. A year ago, it really seemed bleak. It really seemed like there might be a chance he never plays in the NFL again. But a wise man once told me, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. And at the end of the day, according to the judicial system, there's nothing criminal about his actions. So, hey, it's what it is. So I'm looking at which team I think is going to go. It's been narrowed down to the Saints and the Falcons. I really think that's bad for the Texans because I think the Carolina Panthers could have gave them the best deal by far. They could have gave them young assets as far as players. Could have gave them a Jeremy Chin, the cornerback they drafted last year from South Carolina, J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, DT. I mean, you all know Christian McCaffrey. And then as well as picks. And even if they wanted, they could have gave him Sam Darnold back just for a starter to get back, just, you know. So I think that was probably the best deal for the Texans. Obviously, Deshaun Watson doesn't care what's best for the Texans because he, you know, requested a trade, as well as, you know, he's just trying to get out of there. So I'm pretty sure he doesn't care. But when it comes down to the Saints and the Falcons, I think he's going to go to the Falcons. When you're looking at it, his hometown, and if you look at their roster and cap situation, I really think Atlanta is the best equipped to give a good trade to the Texans as well as still pay him. If they were to trade for Deshaun Watson, it's inevitably they would move on from Matt Ryan, opening up cap space. And then they could give him back a player like the AJ Terrell and, you know, a couple picks. The Grady Jackson might be a little longer in the tooth than the Texans want, but he would fit what Lovie Smith said was one of the keys to their defense, the nose tackle. So that would benefit them. But again, overall, just the cap situation for New Orleans, I really don't understand how they would be able to, you know, offer up, you know, I mean, would they really want to trade for Kamara? What's the cornerback's name? Lattimore. Would they want a Lattimore? I mean, again, it's the same piece as a corner for corner. Running back, mentioned CMC, mentioned Kamara. But if I'm the Texans, I probably don't want to trade for a running back, especially with the volatility, especially a high-paid running back. That's not necessarily the best decision. I see with Saquon Barkley, but a running back, when you invest in a running back, there's a lot of things that go wrong before they go right. To have a running back, you have to have a lot of things go well around you to be able to even, you know, show your talents, show your ability. So if I'm a team that's reeling, and I'm a team that, you know, necessarily isn't where we want to be as a franchise, I don't know if I want to invest in a running back. Maybe if I go back to my 2016 self and tell them that, I might not be in so much pain with the Giants now. But yeah, man, what's your thoughts? Comment below. Tell me if you think the Giants should have cut Logan Ryan and I'm overreacting. Let me know if you think the Giants should take a defensive back early in the draft. And then let me know if you think Deshaun Watson is going to the Falcons or Saints. We'll see with whichever. If I'm right or wrong, I'm probably going to make a video to talk about it. So we shall see. But until then, show me love. Show me love. Send it to a buddy.